One of the challenges that a lot of landlord clients feel with outsourcing is the loss of, I've always dealt with you and now you're going to pass me to somebody else. And this is one of the big fears, I think, from letting agents is you've always dealt with me and now you're going to deal with somebody else. And I know one of the things that we've found landlords really like in this circumstance is actually having a dedicated tenancy manager. Now, this isn't law or you've got to have it or anything like that. We just think this really helps to pacify landlords, clients, tenants. If they've got one or two points of contact, obviously you need a backup when people are on holiday and things like that, but very minimal points of contact, because there are some outsourcing companies that have set up where you just get whoever answers the phone. And that is how complaints really start to build and to fester, because it's like he said, she said, they said, I said, or whatever. So you found this really, really helps sort of by actually dedicating one person to each portfolio, or two people to each portfolio, and splitting the portfolio. It's a big portfolio, haven't you, Dawn?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you've got to remember, the key factor here is when you're outsourcing on a white labeled basis. So as I said to you earlier, you want that outsource management to be part of your team. So what I found was much better was to give dedicated tenancy managers, and it will depend on the size of the portfolio, how many work on that team in particular. But one, for the service to the landlords. Whenever you decide to outsource, I'm not going to sit here and say to you, it's an easy decision and everybody loves it once it's done, because nobody likes change. So landlords and tenants are always a little bit, oh, why is this happening? And as you say, Sally, I'm so used to dealing with you, and now I've got to change. But what we found is that it's a much easier process if you do have a dedicated tenancy manager. So, for example, let's say it was a large portfolio where it required more than one portfolio manager for that branch. They would still have a dedicated portfolio where their landlords would get to know them personally, and it would be one-on-one. And with the white label element of it, you have to remember, if you're in a call center and there's not dedicated property tenancy managers, how will you know which client you're talking to? So which company are you talking to? Which tenant is calling you? So I've just found that it just builds better rapport if you have one tenancy manager, an exclusive dedicated tenancy manager per portfolio. Tenants and landlords just like that much more, and also the clients, the agents like that much more as well, because they know that we always provide like a senior tenancy manager. So if you've got any problems as the client, you can speak to your senior tenant, like an account manager, I suppose we'd call it. If you've got any problems that you wish to discuss as the client, you can speak to your account manager. But if you've got a problem with number 9 Acacia Avenue, you know that tenancy manager is Amy, for example, and you can go and speak to her direct. It's a much nicer way of doing it than having a call center environment where there's too many people involved.